Yeah, welcome everyone. Uh, it's a beautiful morning here, and good morning from this side, and good afternoon, good evening, everywhere you are in the whole world. A good day generally.
Good night.
uh, it's, uh, it's nice being here again to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. So. And you are welcome, Mr. Bankole, and uh, our I want to use the word guest minister, but not our guest. Our guest, you're welcome, Mr. Opeoluwa. You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Mr. Stephen.
Thank you.
My Oga. You're welcome, sir.
Oga of the Married and Single Association, ex-Married and Single Association president.
Mm, yeah, that's nice. So waiting for other people to just join us. Like I will just discuss briefly before, at least for maybe for the next 5 to 7 minutes, and just discuss some few things. And I have some things here I picked from what was shared on the group this week, and like I just trying to check the summary. That's the review that's been sent every Saturday. The person that do send that actually used to give us a very good job, like a very good job. So, but I noticed something like the first one that was sent on Monday. That was know when to let go, and what was sent on Friday and is to fight or not to fight. Like to me, I look at them as if like it seems that they are very similar because if we are saying if we okay now know when to let go, like you have to okay when you are doing a particular thing or you are into something or you are trying to achieve something and it's not forthcoming, you can actually there are some times that you let things go. Take for instance, we are doing GRE, and most of the time you might actually know the question, but you are bounded by time. So if you are like, oh no, I must solve this question, I must get the answer, then you will definitely not pass because not that you did not know you cannot solve all those questions, but you actually don't know how to let go because there are some questions that they are actually time waster and it is intentional to be there. So you just leave them, you go to the next one. And as I said, also that is a bit related to what was sent on Friday. Knowing when to fight, when to step back is a valuable skill. And there are some things life requires us to make deliberate choices about the battle we engage in. There are some things that we don't necessarily need to take up. There are some responsibilities that we don't necessarily need to take up, but we are like, oh, maybe what people will say or something. We just have to take up all those responsibility, and it might actually affect us. So there are some times that we don't need to fight some battles. We don't need to do some things. We don't need to engage in some things. So I don't know if anybody actually have any contribution based on what we've actually learned this week. Maybe anything that maybe that stood out or something. Just one person or two. Like, you can just share. So anybody. Hello, can you hear me?
I've learned one lesson in groups. If you just say anybody, nobody will answer you. But if you mention somebody's name, they will surely
Okay.
answer.
Okay, I think that is perfect. Yeah, you're welcome, Mr. Bayom. I think I'm going to start from Mr. Bayom. Like, do you anything that you actually maybe a brief or something, maybe addition to what I've said, or it can be anything generally. It might not be from the group, maybe just something that you actually learned from your engagement this week. So that we can also learn from that as well. In 1 minute, Mr. Abayomi, are you okay?
Yes, I'm with you. Please, can you help me repeat the question again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I said like what you actually learned this week, maybe from the forum or maybe in life generally, like that actually stood out for you that okay, this and this that we can also learn from.
Okay. I learned duality principle this week from Dr. Dansu's YouTube channel. So, but in terms of application for me, there are times where I have to go outside of my normal way of learning. And then, let me say, for instance, the concept I learned from maybe the YouTube channel, I would have said, okay, let me go through the hard way of getting the book, reading it to, or then like I just Googled and I just found this tutorial on it. And then, okay, I just watched it. And it's kind of solved like so much problem for me. So like in connection with what you said earlier, I resonated with the idea you said the other time about sometimes we do agidi in our word.
Yeah.
So I would have done agidi to follow my traditional way of learning, but then there's a smarter way of going about it. So it was a lesson for me this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually resonate with that too as well because I'm someone that I also love to like to do things my like on my own, especially like if I don't get things, I will want to stay with it until I actually get it because I have this belief that if I stay with it, then it will not leave me because I know how I maneuver myself, I maneuver my way to actually get the result. So definitely I will know how to get the result. So, but after moving out of Nigeria, I noticed that guy, you cannot do it. You cannot do it this way. You have to leverage. Yeah. You have to leverage your people. So, and when you see people that are actually good, so you just need to leverage instead of spending 3 hours, 2 hours. You just spend in less than 30 minutes. You are done. So that's the and I will be going for just one person before we move to the next team. Who should I pick? Okay, Mr. Bankole. Let me pick Mr. Bankole. Mr. Bankole, are you there?
Um, Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Good afternoon.
Yeah, in afternoon in Nigeria. So,
Yeah, yeah. I understand.
from what I learned this week, getting over yourself is a good thing. That I love what Prof sent to the group. It really is what I'm passing through now because you'll be doing some things and you expect people to notice it and just be giving you accolades like, but it's not coming forth. So I really learned a lot that you should get over yourself and allow other people to
Yeah.
shine or to do things, not to be expecting accolades or people praising you all the time. Because there are sometimes people they know, according to what Mr. Olushola said, he said they don't send your papa. So nobody send you. So there are
Yeah.
some things you do, you just forget about it and you get over it and you know it's a good thing. So thank you, sir, Prof, for that. It's
Yeah.
realistic and
Yes.
Always my
I think
pleasure.
Prof.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like I'll just like use extra 1 minute, like just 1 minute to actually ask someone to say something, and the person is, he just concluded a footer convocation, like one of the best.
Yes,
Graduated.
so thank you for remembering that. I didn't even remember.
One of the best graduates today. I just saw the name and I was like, wow,
Record breaker, 4.96.
nothing, nothing
More
but
people
like
the vex.
someone commented and said nothing but excellent. Like nothing but this is like nothing. Just imagine someone having 5.0, 5.0, 5.05. Ah,
You got
wow.
the vex.
So like I'll just give him like okay 1 minute just okay like what can you maybe what you I hope you actually get the question or should I repeat the question? Have you joined before that time?
Yeah, please, like, you can just let me to repeat the question. Like, I
Okay,
joined.
okay. I said like what have you learned this week maybe from the forum or in life generally?
Hmm.
Please just break it down for our level. You know, we are not best guys students, so please.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
joking, actually.
making you're making to be shy now, actually. All right, thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending wherever you are joining from. So, for me, before I start, my name is Jumbo Vitowanu. Uh, Thank you for having me here, and I'm glad to be on this webinar again. Like, it is always something that touched my life, touched me in every area. And okay, what did I learn this week? I learned a lot, actually. Be able to manage yourself, manage, that kind of noise out there. Perhaps when they are trying to celebrate you, you know, we have like we just get to a point and be like, so it is me that they are celebrating like this. But I've been able to learn how to manage success and how to manage celebration from every angle, and also how to manage life in general. Because I found myself in a situation where I was to make a strong decision, like actually this week, you know, having to make decision is a personal stuff. Actually, I don't need to say more about it, but like the decision actually, I was able to, make the best decision ever, like in putting things in place. So, and let me say, this is a reflection of what I have learned so far from even my mentor, um, Prof. Dr. Emmanuel Dansu. So yeah, like whatever I want to say today is really, go down back and still talk about how he impacted my life and touched my life before even leaving Nigeria to Japan. So like he has been somebody that is, that I cannot forget in my life, because anything I have today, anything I become today is still, one of the major factor that ensure that, Jumbo, you have to do the right thing. You say, Jumbo, like you have to think where.
Yeah.
So like he's really a father and someone that I always look forward to, like a good mentor.
What
If I
did
say I
you
should be
learn?
talking,
What did you
just
learn? They don't talk
I,
to make you can't talk about mentor. And so what did you learn?
yeah, what did I learn? Like I learned a lot, and I've just said it that one of the things I learned is how to manage success, how to manage celebration. Because I can remember one time saying, um yeah, congratulations, but don't let it get into your head. It was Dr. Dance that was saying that, don't let it get into your head. So when I saw the post, saw the celebration, I remember that statement, congratulations, but don't let it get into your head.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Doctor has actually done a lot, so don't just let us start. let's let's focus. So right now we're going to the next thing we have on our agenda, and I'll be inviting our guest. So the speaker for today is Opeoluwa Adeyanju, reside in Lagos, Nigeria, and He is a graduate of ecotourism and wildlife management from Federal University of Technology, Akure, and his hobbies, he loves reading, listening to music, visiting natural environments, and he's also a web developer and a digital marketer. So, big welcome, Opeoluwa Adeyanju. So, you have the floor, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ayodeji. Thank you, Dr. Manuel Dansu, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone on the platform. I hope I'm audible enough and you can hear me loud and clear. I like to hear feedback if I'm
Yes,
audible.
yes, we can
All
hear you.
right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You are
Once
welcome.
again, I find this a very big privilege because it's not something I'm used to doing. I'm more of an introvert and I like to just be in my space, in my shell. Yeah, I know I've done a whole lot in life, in my short time in life. I'm not old yet, still young, and I'm still learning and I'm still growing. But when I got that invitation to speak on rising, on the topic today, rising from the ashes, I was like, hey, okay, this is this is it. And when such opportunity knocks, I just see it as a stepping stone to learn, to also impact lives and to grow generally. So once again, I want to appreciate Dr. Emmanuel Dansu, and I really, um, you know, will I say I'm overwhelmed by the great work you are doing in the Real Boys Forum, and I know I've not been able to catch up on all the articles, weekly articles, daily articles, and everything, but I'm just, I try to, I always try to catch up sometimes. I always try to catch up sometimes when, I have that time to catch up. So once again, I really want to thank you for the platform, privilege to share and to pour out value on this platform. Thank you everyone once again. So I will share my screen. I will share my screen now and carry us all along. And I not really, speak or say a whole lot from my slides. So I would like us to really pay attention to what I'll be saying. I'll be sharing valuable experiences and nuggets, that would help us to rise from the ashes. I believe I don't like generalizing situations or circumstances, but I know that once in a while everyone pass through one form of challenge or another. So just give me some seconds to share my slide. Thank you. Okay, let me know. Can you see my slide now? Can you see my slide now?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. So, once again, I count it another privilege to speak today. And like I said, I'm not used to doing it, but
So sorry.
this is,
The slide is looking like your design environment. It's not looking like a proper presentation like before.
oh,
Because
okay,
I'm saying something like
okay,
add notes to your design, and then it's not showing in full screen. Yeah,
okay.
maybe this should work. Yeah, I think this should work. Yes.
All right, so you can see my screen clearly now.
It's not. But you have to click on present, I think.
Okay, 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 okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks like this is how it is. Okay then. But the screen
Oh,
is not full. We don't have the full screen, so to speak.
sorry. Let me quickly edit that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, this works.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. All right. So once again, welcome to this to the 11th meeting, virtual meetup of the Real Boys Forum, and my name is Opeoluwa Adeyanju. I reside in Lagos, Nigeria. Um, Graduate of Federal University of Technology, Akure, studied ecotourism and wildlife management, and I'll, I'll be speaking on the topic that says rising from the ashes. Wow. Well, I when Prof actually gave me some, I know, all right, Prof must have seen some growth. I wouldn't want to put Prof on the platform now because I know there will still be time for questions and answer, sharing of ideas and this thing. But I also know that this topic is something that everyone should listen to or should hear at one point or another in their life. And when we talk about rising from the ashes, uh, okay, I'm coming. Okay, so I would read this first quote from Thomas Edison that says, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up." I read it again. If you can also see it, many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. And when we talk about rising from the ashes, there are a lot of experience come in here. And when we talk about ashes, I wouldn't want to go through the route of probably preaching or teaching, but I believe one way or another is about sharing impact. It's about sharing impact. So there will be a section for question and answer. And this quote from Thomas Edison talks about how people give up when they are close to success. And I personally experienced that in the university. It also almost happened to me, but um, I was, should I say, I was privileged to get a touch on the right materials, meet the right people, that actually helped me to rise from the challenges I passed through. And I will share my story, as an opening, or should I call it a soft landing for this topic. So, like I said, I'm a graduate of Federal University of Technology, Akure. I studied ecotourism and wildlife. But initially, I didn't gain admission to, EWM, that's ecotourism and wildlife management. I gained admission into mathematical science in the Federal University of Technology, Akure. And it was a very rough ride for me, a very, very rough ride. And I must say it was one ride that really changed my life, you know, for good. And that challenges really, changed my life for good. Okay, I would actually show us this. Let me just talk about this diagram, this picture you can see in the image before I move on. You can see this bird. It's called a phoenix. You can see the ashes down. You can see money around it. And the concept is more like, a phoenix that, was an ashes and it just came out of the ashes and rose, and this phoenix represents probably a person or a thing regarded as uniquely remarkable in some respects. So there's this point in life where we face challenges, but majority of people are actually consumed by the challenges they face in life. They don't. Most people just let the challenges override their life and make them make decisions. You understand? So, like I was sharing about my own experience in school. I gained admission into mathematical sciences, and I had a bad foundation in secondary school with mathematics. So I wasn't really passing mathematics well, but will I say my parents just wanted me to, study sciences and also I just had to, okay, let me just, because naturally I love arts and I just had to study mathematics and I found myself in Federal University of Technology Akure, mathematical science. And it happened to be that I started failing from 100 level. Started failing from 100 level, and every semester, yeah, my grade was going, you know, down. It was just reducing like that every semester. And as at 300 level, I was already seeing probation, advised to withdraw. And I was like, okay. And the way the results were then, were they were pasted and everybody can even see the results. They would just be like, most people just mind their business. And just one of my friends, I could remember him very well, just walked up to me one day and told me that he has been seeing this, he has been seeing that. Um, can I just try this? And that's what the change of department thing. And that was around 300 level. I wanted to change my department around 300 level, but I had some carryovers that were too much that I had to pass some of them just for me to change. So I had to now write some exams in 400 level. No, sorry, I couldn't write exams for I was on IT then, so I had to wait till the end of 300 level to write those exams and now still change my department at 400 level going to 500 level. I'm actually sharing this because we will not be able to understand this topic if I don't share this kind of experience. Because at this point, I would just have to bear it up and not hold back on any information because this is how we can really understand this topic. And like I said, after changing my department, 400 level going to 500 level, I had to go back to 200 level again, study ecotourism and wildlife management. And then most of my friends, my level mates and departmental mates had come back to start defending their IT, work on our projects. And in total, I spent like 9 years for a 5-year course. And the question is, how did I cope? Along the line, I had other people that I knew then that actually dropped out. They were still in school, but they didn't go back home, but they were no more in school again. They were just like living in their lodge, doing other activities, probably going to make money somewhere. And they just said that education is not for them. But that was not my own story. I I actually found a way to succeed regardless of my setback in my previous department. And this is where the the topic now starts because I'm going to be breaking down how I went through this. I scaled through this. Yes, I'm not disputing the fact that it was just by my power of my mind, but God really intervened and helped me too because it, it could have gone the other way. All right. So what does ashes represent? I believe we can see our screen, my screen. What does ashes represent? I think ashes represents loss, failure, betrayal, disappointment, or broken dreams. Yes, or broken dreams. And at one point or another in life, I believe each and every one on this platform has experienced a certain kind of loss, a certain kind of failure, certain kind of betrayal, certain kind of disappointment, or broken dream. Yeah, we all had dreams at one point or another in our life, and I know some of us have not really achieved our dreams. Yes, we might be successful in some areas, and the dream is see that bigger picture that looks like is a mountain that we have to surmount to achieve it. And some of us have faced losses, like myself, lost my mom just after writing my WAEC, and this happened to be, someone that has been doing everything for me. When we talk about going to write junior WAEC and write in junior secondary school entrance exam, She was the one that was there to take me around. So she's been my kind of, right hand person to do everything for me. But at the point when, she was not there again, life became more difficult for me because I was now left alone. The people that promised that, oh, they'll be there for me, nobody was there. And I happened to be the first born child of my parents. So a whole lot of response. I just had to find a way around it. And I had always known that education is like that key that can give me that leverage to be who or whatever I want to become in life. So I believe most people and most of us have faced one form of ashes, loss, setback, broken dreams. But one thing I actually started doing during this period when I was going through setback, was that I started laying my hand on books. I wasn't really discussing my problem with people because I was even shy about saying how do I want to say it? How do I want to say it? But I couldn't share my experience. I couldn't share what I was going through. But those friends that actually knew what I was going through were just going for their own lectures and told me what I could do. And it was difficult for me to even change department then because the carryover I had were a whole lot that I had to, shed some weight off. They were like weights dragging me back to. I had to just shed some weight off. And at a point, I started, getting depressed. Is this how everything will end? Where will I go from here? Where will I go from here? All right, so this slide says rising from ashes is not just a phase, it's a call to action. Rising from ashes is not just, yeah, it's a phase, but it's not just a phase. That's not where it starts or begins and ends. It's not just a phase, but it is what? A call to action. Yes, when we are in this downtime in our life, it's either we fight or it's what they call flight or fight mode. Whenever man or woman face any form of challenges, they have the tendency to actually fight or flight. Flight is probably running away from it, not confronting the challenges that we face. And most time people always tend to go towards the flight mode. And when they try to run away from it, the problems keeps resurfacing in different ways. So that means that you can't totally run away from your challenges or your setback. You have to what? Take action. And that's why it's a call to action when you are facing any form of what? Challenges, which are what we are in quotes calling ashes here. It's about finding strength in despair, purpose in pain, and hope in moments of hopelessness. It's not as easy as I'm saying right now, but then the people you also surround yourself with matters a lot. If you are someone who you don't have your own healthy self-esteem, you know who you are inside, and this is a process of introspection, reflection over a very long period of time. It's not something you just do in 1 year. It's not, you don't become old and totally know yourself in 1 year or one sitting. It's something that you would have done over time, and then you now accept yourself and begin to work on yourself, knowing who you are. Then you'll be able to deep dig dig deep from a place of strength, leveraging on the understanding of who you are. Most of what I'll be sharing with us today are life experiences, and that's why I said I'm not going to really totally depend on the slides for this, for this meeting. Yes, I was able to overcome this using different strategies, but then I would reserve that for the later part of the meeting. So just as the phoenix emerges from the fire, we too can always but rise from life's challenges stronger and more determined than before. So there's a place of strength, there's a place of courage, there's a place of boldness when you've been through that phase and you've overcome that phase. So Nelson Mandela said, the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela quoted this. He said, the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing or falling, sorry, but in rising every time we fall. And most of us know the story of Nelson Mandela. We know that story of his journey of enduring 27 years of imprisonment and emerging as a global symbol of reconciliation and hope. We would not have imagined what he passed through, and he went through hell for something he didn't really, commit, just for advocating, for mankind, for humans, for South Africans. Then he went through torture, imprisonment, but he came out stronger, preaching love, preaching hope, preaching unity, preaching oneness. And that's one of the positive impacts rising when we fall in life can what happen, can make happen to us. It changes our mindset, it changes how we see life, it changes how we approach things, and it just takes us to an elevated place of what? Should I say freedom, where you don't, judge, don't do things irrationally. And this another quote here that I have that says, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work by Thomas Edison. And yes, most of us know this story too about Thomas Edison and how he invented, the light bulb and several electronic devices that we use now. And this just shows that failure is something that can be inevitable at several phases of our life. The fact that you will rise from ashes at one point in your life does not mean that you won't still face another challenge after rising from the ashes. Just like I've after I graduated, it was like I did this, I've overcome this, and what is the next phase? But I got to realize that even after I graduated, I started facing different form of life challenges because I got to realize that school life was just one phase. And even I can say school life is even a very smaller phase in life to an extent because it's nothing close to what you experience in real life, what you experience, after school. All right. I hope I'm still audible and you're following. I'd like to hear feedback. If you're
Yes,
following
please.
me,
Yes.
then
Yes.
all right. Thank you very much. Thank you for following. So, the rising process, the rising process. Like I said earlier, when we fall, it might take a very long period of time to really maneuver our ways around this. But I would share from my own personal experience because that's why I'm actually using my own personal experience to approach this topic because it's something I have passed through and I'm still passing through. And there's no challenge that I face right now that would seem too big for me. I know there are still challenges that still lie ahead, but I believe that I've been able to overcome several challenges and I'm still going to overcome several challenges as they surface. All right, so talking about the rising process. The rising process. The first thing is to what? Is acceptance and letting go. Acceptance. Like you need to, it's a place of awareness. It's a place of awareness, like, okay, this is it. You are going through this. Some people like to run away from what they are going through. They don't want to tell themselves the truth. They keep telling themselves lies internally, like, okay, this is not happening. But in reality, it's actually happening. And they can see it, they can feel it, they know it's hurting them deep down. But they've not come to a place of what? Acceptance. They've not come to a place where they come to understand that this is happening, this is real, this is happening. So the first phase when we are going through any form of challenges, any form of loss, which we are using, we are referring to ashes now, is to what? Admit that we are passing through this. And it takes a place of self-awareness to really know that this is happening and to also accept it that this is happening. You need to understand that it's real, this is happening, and letting go. Letting go does not mean running away from the ashes or the challenges you are facing. It's just, you know, you knowing that you need to what? It's a call to action. It's a place of call to action. And I'll use a real life example of J.K. Rowling. Most of us might have, read about her, who went from being a struggling single mother to creating the, Harry Potter empire after embracing her situation. And she said something. She said, rock bottom becomes the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Rock bottom became a solid, that solid foundation on which she rebuilt her own life. And that shows that there's a place of self-discovery when we are, in a downtime. But when we run away from this phase, when we don't accept this, we tend to miss out on that window of self-discovery because that window might not really come every time until we really accept and admit and also reposition ourselves and our mindset that okay, this is happening and I need to what? Take action. All right. Another approach is rekindling hope and vision. Rekindling hope and vision. Yeah, I'm going to break this down. When we are in this phase of challenges of, should I say, ashes, ashes states, losses, or betrayal, setback. Setback is one of the biggest challenges that most people face. And I really didn't talk, say a lot about setback. And setback is the major thing or factor that most people face in life. Yes, I'm supposed to have been married by this age. Is that pressure of being married at a particular age? Is that pressure of, you know, moving into your own apartment at a particular age, leaving your parents' house, the pressure of, getting a job, you know, six-figure job, that pressure of, should I say, having your own car, and the pressure, and this pressure keeps going on and on and on, probably from societal pressure, parental pressures, peer pressure, and it's a form of, most times we end up seeing it as a form of setback. That, okay, I'm already 30, I'm not yet this, and I'm supposed to be that because I'm already at a particular age. Yes, some of us actually face setbacks because of limitation that we have, probably financial limitations, sometimes information, deprivation that we don't get at the right time, and sometimes the company we keep. So, in rekindling hope, there's a place of what? Faith. And in vision, there's a place of redefining what? Purpose in life. So, I'm going to dwell on, rekindling hope. And I'll share how I was able to rekindle hope when I was going through my own challenges, as an undergraduate. And it wasn't easy. It was really tough that at the point I couldn't even tell them at home what I was going through. I actually told them what I was going through when I had actually changed my department and I started in the new department. But they will ask then I'm okay, I'm fine, everything's fine. Because I already knew that if I had not found a solution out or a way out, then I know I won't be able to be bold about what I want to tell them. But one approach that really helped me, that helped me really rekindle my hope was God first. Yeah, I this topic is not really a religious kind of topic. Yes, I know, but there's always a place of spirituality in everything in life for me. A faith-based person too. So God was like one key person that helps my life, helped strengthen me because at that point, I was weak throughout. I was going through phase of downtime, depression, and I was in and out of the church then, and I wasn't stable because I had also had departmental mates that were in the same campus fellowship as I was, and they knew what was happening. So and they would not tell me anything, not discuss anything with me, but I needed to find that hope and that strength from within, like encouraging myself from within and in God to be able to rekindle that hope that yes, there's still hope. And I discovered some books, two books that really changed my life. Yeah, I'm an avid reader and I'm big on reading books. And if there's anyone on this platform that is not a reader, please, I think you should invite that habit of reading books. Doesn't have to be that you read one book per week. No, you can just start small. Take a book, that's a self-improvement book, not just novels or religious books, but there are some books that would tweak your mindset, would change how your outlook to life, situations, that will really help you because it all begins in the mind. Like our mind is the, like the greatest asset man has, and it all begins in our mind. Everything that we do or we go through begins in our mind, and our mind attracts some things. So but I won't go into that. So I'm talking about some of the books that actually helped me to rekindle my hope during this period of ashes and downtime. And the first one was Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. It might not be a book that might resonate with you at in your in every phase of your life, especially when you're having a easy life, like everything is going fine for you, success, you're having your A parallel, you're having your first class, you're having everything. You'll be like, why would I read Failing Forward? But trust me, there might be a point in your life where you get to after this initial success, it might be a place of probably your work and you have projects to carry out, and you might find yourself failing in some particular projects that you want to carry out. To be personal projects, to be official projects. This book actually went in depth to actually break down how one can fail forward in life. And there are several nuggets in this book, and one of them is that failure is not something that is final. It doesn't mean that okay, because I've failed or I'm having a setback and that's the end of the world. And the truth is, failure is something that is not totally on should I say failure is not avoidable. Something that you can say, oh, I'm not going to fail. You can predict with precision that I'm going to succeed in this thing. Because at a point in time, everybody will make mistakes before because they are humans. And you learn lesson when these mistakes are repeated. And that lesson can be difficult sometimes. And another thing that I learned from that book, that failing forward book, was that you have to remove you from the failure. Like you don't attach yourself directly to that failure or to that challenge that you're going through. It might not be failing, it could be a challenge, it could be something that you're passing through at a particular time. You need to detach yourself. That situation, that challenges is not who you are at that point in time. And reading books is one of the approach I actually use. It's not fun reading books. It's not easy reading books. It takes a lot of discipline to say, oh, I want to carry this book and read it. and you're like searching for a treasure inside it, like you're looking for something that is misplaced and is lost. And I've got to realize when I read books too that I might not get full or total transformation from the book almost immediately, but you can begin to realize that your subconscious has taken out some points, some perspective from that book and the lessons you learn from that book, and it helps you to what make decisions in future, you know, places where you encounter or face challenges. So reading books is one of the way I was able to what rekindle that hope because I read positive books. I read books that lifted my spirits, that was showed me that I'm not the first person to pass through this. Other people have passed through different form of setbacks, failures, losses, but what they were able to what fail forward, move forward. All right, so you should not also blame yourself. Another thing I learned from that book is not blaming yourself, like being hard on yourself, harsh on yourself, because I was really harsh on myself at the point in time, and I was like, oh, can I just end it all? Can I just run away somewhere, you know, go somewhere that nobody will see me and just start a life somewhere else? But I realized I had to, face this because I had hope after reading the book Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. It also helped me to take action when I was going through that tough phase of my life. Another book that helped me too was No Excuses by Brian Tracy. Yeah, Brian Tracy, No Excuses. And these are the two books that changed my mindset, that changed how I, was seeing the situation I was going through then when I was in school and after I had failed woefully in my former department. And I said, okay. And I got to realize that, okay, I'm not who the other people are. I'm not this person, and everybody is unique. And I had to go through the new phase of my life, heads up, shoulder up, knowing that I had learned some difficult lessons and I need to what? Move forward. Yes, it was not, like I said, as easy as I'm saying, but it was really impactful. And I'm just trying to encourage anyone here going through form of challenge or challenges, setback, loss, delay, that it's not the end and it's not fatal. It's not the end. And when you come in the right contact with the right, materials, people, you would begin to what overcome that challenges daily. It's not something that will just happen overnight. No, it's something that you you really need to focus on and face head on daily, knowing that this is what you want to do. Taking those baby steps, and then it's also what rekindle your vision. Yes, we all have this purpose. We all have a purpose in life. We know what we want to achieve in life. Sometimes some of us are still tweaking and readjusting our purpose, and these challenges can help you sit back and really ask yourself questions and say, yes, is this really the purpose I'm called to, be on earth for? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Why am I facing these challenges? Is it because my purpose is to also uplift people after I overcome these challenges? And yes, I always add that will I say call from friends, from people, from families, because some of them had they didn't most of them didn't even come to me directly to know what I went through financially, but they just had some way somehow that, oh, this is what happened to me. I'm tough, I'm strong, I'm up, I'm making waves here and there now, but I was down there before. But it has helped me to also lift people up in my private, way, and has rekindled my purpose that, oh yeah, I have a bigger purpose, in life than just building houses, getting married, having children. but having positive impacts and letting people understand that they can become successful too, regardless of their challenges. All right. Moving on to how we can rise from ashes. From the ashes, like I said earlier, this is showing up again. Take action with persistence. And there's a reason why the word persistence is here. It's not just take action. It's not just taking action. No. Yeah, you can just go ahead and begin to take positive action. But what happens when the action you take doesn't solve the problem? That's where persistence comes in. Sometimes you just have to sleep on it. You just have to sometimes, most times, not sometimes now, pray to God, go to God in prayer because God is our creator and I believe he knows the end from the beginning, and that's just where my own faith lies. Pray to Him and let Him lead me and direct my path. And it has worked for me, and I've seen several results when I do that. All right, can you mute your mic? Thank you. So, like I said, taking action with persistence. This means even when I started again from the beginning, from scratch, it wasn't as easy, but I learned from my mistakes that, oh, this is one. And one secret I think I discovered was not eating the problem. Like I was sharing with my prof earlier, that I still like mathematics. I don't know, I'm not good, at math, but coming into the real life world and experience has really shown me why maths is important, because everything I do now is mathematics. Everything I do in my field now is just simply maths. Yeah, it might not be the YDX, in university and all, but there's a touch of maths in digital marketing. Is numbers, design, there's maths. Then you need to know dimensions. So there's a there's a form of maths in everything. And I didn't eat that because I failed maths. I had to have this love for what that challenge was, and look on the brighter side. Say, oh, I think this is where the fault is. What can I do? What action can I take? What step can I take to move forward? You don't have to go through a particular path. You can always rechannel your path, and yes, still end up, fulfilling that bigger purpose for which you are here on earth to do. And that's where action comes in. Go back, look deeply into what you didn't do right the last time. And I discovered because I didn't like math, I was not even reading my books at all. I was buying the handouts, I was trying my best, but it was boring to me, and I was like, oh God, having serious headaches when I was doing this. And another action, yeah, I did, apart from books and talking to God, I also spoke with the right people then, and I think that was how I came in contact with Dr. Emmanuel Dansu. Then he tried to help me when I was still going through these challenges in mathematical science. He introduced me to Mike then, one of the best students who was my junior then, to have this private tutorial with me. But I just felt like I don't think I want to go that route. So I had to look for another way. And while I was working, I do take walks. I'm this kind of person that like working in natural environment. And I think my school then, Futa has a lot of trees, and you just walk at night, you walk around. And I got to realize I could speak with a counselor at the dean's office, School of Dean's office then, and I met a woman then that was my counselor, personal counselor, and it was something that I never imagined myself doing. Walking up to somebody to share my problems, who is, an elderly woman that told me, and she was the first person I had, is not how far, but how well. Then that statement from her, she was okay, encouraging me, and I had to go in checking weekly on, and she helped me to during the process when it was difficult for me to change my partner. So speaking with the right people to also is a form of action that we can take
during this period when we are going through, tough times, setback, difficulties, which are all form of ashes. And action is not always easy. It's not something you just think you do and the result will come out exactly the way you expect it to. That's where persistence, comes in. Taking action with persistence means you try again, even when you do it and you are trying to, yes, trying to already overcome one challenge, but that doesn't mean because you are trying to go into a new phase or direction, you won't still face a new dimension or dynamic, challenge. That's where you have to be persistent, and persistence is really not giving up, but putting in more effort to do that, thing you are supposed to do to achieve what you want to achieve, regardless. All right. Okay. So some actionable tips that actually helped me to take some actions was setting small goals, setting small achievable goals. When I mean small achievable goals, it can be as little as um writing your goals down. That's like a goal. Writing your goals down. Probably going out to see this person, reading one chapter, reading this topic, doing this, and I began writing down goals then. And my goals then were might not be fun, like I am making 1 million and over. I was already in a challenge in university, and it was my education phase then. So I had goals of probably studying courses that I failed because I needed to change my department. So I had to go back and study MCS 101, Physics 101, and I discovered that I could pass these courses, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And when I read them, I had good results when I wanted to change my department, but I carried them over when I was in mathematical science. So those little actions, leaving my comfort zone was another action and goal I set for myself. Going to Abiola reading room then from this junction, that Northgate junction, sorry, Star Junction area, going to the school just to go and read and coming back. I just had these little goals, these small goals that okay, helped me to know that yeah, I need to do something to achieve something because it has to be worthwhile when I take these steps. And I discovered I discovered that um when I took these little steps, I started seeing results and I was happy. I was like, is this easy? And that's where taking action. Most time when we want to, write goals or set goals or take actions, we always want to jump, not, take the next little action or step we can take, but just take big steps. But when we take the small little actions that we know we can really focus on squarely, we begin to see those results that inspires us that, oh wow, this thing works. And that was what really helped me back then to, you know, keep on going back to read, and I passed the courses. And when I now got fully into my new department, I said, wow, this is the secret. Then I plugged in and began to take this action persistently. But the new department had its own challenges too, because it was not more like a mathematical science where you study formulas and all. This time around, you need to read. You need to read well. All right. Another process, to rise from ashes is surrounding yourself with support, the right support. So when we surround ourselves with the right support, it helps us to grow and to overcome ashes. You get people that will encourage you. You get people that will give you information that would help you forge ahead. And the truth about life is life and success generally is about information. And that's just the truth. Some people actually have information that most of us you know, are struggling to, to get information of things that are struggling to get, and some people just have those information at the, tip of their fingernails, and they just once they tell you that information, you plug in, you you realize that wow, all these whiles, all these years, if I had known. I also experienced that too when I didn't open up, to the right people. Then I was just like, okay, just myself, myself, myself. And when I opened up, eventually I realized that so this was all it took to get a form 800 naira, fill the form, go to the right place you want to move to, meet the right lecturers that could help you. And yeah, I had this um lecturer too that also played a key role during my transitioning because he was a pastor in my then, campus fellowship, and that's Dr. Adu. Yeah, I don't know if most of us that has been. So,
In
it was
engineering,
Dr.
right?
Yes,
Electrical.
yes, yes,
Electrical.
yes,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, Adu. Um, no, agric. Sorry, not electrical.
Okay. Okay.
Is yeah, yeah. Is agri school of agric. Yeah, school of agric. So I walked up to him and I just, opened up to him. And he was an assistant pastor to Pastor Rich then in Winners Campus Fellowship, um, um, Arifalo then. So I just said, I couldn't see Mr. Arifalo. Let me just go to Dr. Adu. And that was how just like, wow, this is it, and this is my faculty. And he just took me to, just asked me. He didn't even tell me to come to his own department or his own, this. He just asked me that, oh, this is which department do you think can go? These are the options. And I told him this, and he said, okay. And he just, put me through. And I was like, wow. So opening up sometimes can really open doors to the right people. That's why you need to open up to the right person, not just anybody. And I was able to surround myself with the right support at that point. And before I knew it, started making new friends in my new department, and they were also helping me, to understand the department well. Okay, so um, this aspect is around the place where I'll be rounding up, but I still have more to give through the interactive section because I wouldn't want, it to just be like I'm the only one sharing. So we say that from this quote that says your setback is a setup for your comeback by Willie Jolie. It shows that triumph and transformation happens after you overcome, after you rise from the ashes. You don't just okay. I would say the impact a lot of challenges I faced through during my undergraduate days helped me to achieve in real world sense. Like I said earlier, I'm an introvert. I don't like speaking to people. I'm not an antisocial person. No, when I meet with the right people, I open up and I stop by talk and all. But breaking the ice is not my thing. I'm not that person that will start a conversation. I'll wait years, before I start that conversation. But now I can walk up to someone and just introduce myself. Hey, I'm Opeoluwa and I do this. And I observe you around and what do you do? What do you do? That's how, that challenge helped me to socialize better now. And it also helped me to, I don't know, to an extent, discern the right people to, relate with too. I don't know, it might sound complex, but from just seeing some particular person, observing some people, I could, without knowing them back on, just say, oh, this is the kind of person I should really talk to. Probably observing their approach, how they, behave and speak sometimes from far, from a distance, I can easily walk up to them and say, yes, um, I would like to, introduce myself and tell you what I do. So when we go through a form of challenge, doesn't mean it's actually the end of life because at the end of the day, triumph actually and transformation happen. And that transformation is the biggest benefits of overcoming challenges so far. Like I can say that because I've seen a lot of transformation that has helped me, network better. And even this year, I had the biggest networking um privilege and action for me. Like who I met this year, the team I've joined this year, even what I even post online now is not up to half of what I'm doing because I'm not that person. I really, post my life or my activities online like that. I might just drop one or two quotes, but I wouldn't drop. But now because of my space, I have to put out more content now. But I know in the coming year I'll do much more than that. And that transformation has been so obvious, even in my family, seeing that, oh yeah, Opa is now doing well, is now this, is now some people actually even envy, or should I say, are inspired by me, but they don't come out to tell me that I'm their inspiration. Oh, just very few people have come out to say, oh man, I would like to really be like, I would like to. And that transformation is influential. It can be influential in the sense that you become like a leader in a space. Being a leader doesn't mean you are commanding people, but you are just subtly, influencing people, pioneering activities, solving problems of people. You don't talk so much, but when people come, you just speak every 2 or 3 lines, and they realize that they are the thing they've been struggling with for hours. You just help them solve it in 2 minutes, and then people start to say, "Oh, but all those they don't just happen overnight. They come from a place of self-discovery, overcoming, challenges, or like we are speaking about in our theme, rising from ashes." So, in conclusion, I'm seeing here resilience, action, and transformation just summarizes everything I've been, talking about. Resilience, action, and transformation. I don't know if anyone has any question now or would like to share if if you face a challenge before, the step you took to overcome, or what the step you are taking to overcome any form of challenges. I just want us to interact now before I go back and you know close up officially, with support of my moderator. I would like to first get feedback from all I've said so far. If there are any form of questions so far, or anyone that wants to share life experience before we progress and continue this.
Yeah, when I met you back then, in my mind I was just like, God, this is serious. Like the whole thing, it looks so complicated. I'm just wondering, God, please help this guy. Like I didn't like I'd even forgotten whatever I did, but I remember the situation was so serious. But then it was so lovely when I finally began to see you online. Like you're doing great stuff, and I'm like, wow, great. Sergio has a question. That's my contribution for now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. All right, shoot. Sergio,
Yeah, okay. Thank
Steven.
you so
Yeah,
much, Mr. Okay, hello, can you hear me, sir?
loud and clear. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Okwe, and
My
thanks
pleasure.
always to Dansu. Yeah, my question is, I think during one of your points, you shared acceptance, and actually, like I could really resonate with what you are talking about today. And I think there's two different things. When you say, okay, you accepted it, like you know down yourself that okay, you've accepted it, but what actions were you able to take, or a constant reminder for yourself that okay, this is reality, like you really really accepted this thing? There's difference between maybe you just affirming it and that you've accepted this issue, but maybe like a genuine or an intentional acceptance. What really took you to that extent?
All right. Thank you for the question. A genuine acceptance, it came from a deep-seated place of thoughts and thoughtfulness, knowing that this is the reality. This is what's happening. And acceptance does not mean um I'm riding in that failure form or challenge. I'm like cruising on challenges and I don't care about what it is. Some people might approach it that way, like, oh, it don't happen, like some people will say. But then the acceptance is a form of a place of knowing that this is real, nowhere to run to, other than to face it squarely through your blood, sweat, tears, everything. Just have to accept and be truthful to yourself because it takes a place of the acceptance really comes from a place of truthfulness to oneself and not self deceit or self deception, telling yourself false lies. But that acceptance, it's for me personally, like you asked me to tell you something from my own experience, how I really accepted it. It was because I knew that this is it and it is real, it's happening, and it can only get worse or better. But I have a choice to make at this junction. Do I continue to, like some people are advising me then, okay, like um I should just continue. And I really thought about the realistic part of continuing in that same department, which I already end from sometimes you need to begin with the end in mind. You be futuristic. This thing that you couldn't understand for a long time, you now want to see continue doing it again. Just like you are digging the hole deeper instead of just stopping to think and look for a way to climb out. But you keep digging deep. And I said that, oh, this is where a place I need to really accept and know that this part is not my calling. Maths is not my calling. Yeah, I might be able to do some basic mathematics, addition, subtraction, which I do now. I use it for my business and everything, but that acceptance comes from a place of genuineness, truthfulness to oneself. After you sat down, you've separated yourself, you've thought about it, you not just once, twice, multiple times in different weeks, days, months, and you're still going back to reflect on it, like, oh, this is what I went through and what I'm going through. And I just need to understand that this is real and I have to find a way out, one way or another. But it just has to be a very good way, not a bad way to come out of it. I don't know if I was able to answer Steven's question or someone else wants to buttress more light to that question.
Yes, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. All right, so I don't know if someone else has any other contributions, suggestions, or questions apart from Steven, or you want to share your own challenges you've experienced and you overcame at one point. And because I know most of us here might have gone through one phase of ashes in our lifetime, and we overcame. Some of us probably put in for scholarship, tried first time, second time, and didn't work through something like that. Just for others to know that I'm not only the speaker, you know, has risen from a particular form of ashes and challenges, but you know, just share. Nobody wants to share any
Yeah,
experience.
I'm being careful so that it won't be like I'm talking too much.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Yeah. Maybe we should just call any random person to say something because I mean just like I said the other time in group dynamics, right? If you say somebody should share, everybody will wish somebody else is sharing. But if you mention somebody's name, they really need to have a reason not to share. Okay, Abayam is raising his
Have
hand.
someone already.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Mr. Okpe, for sharing your story with us. As you were speaking, I don't know, okay, maybe Dr. Danso might resonate with the personality. I like you're speaking just like Broshiju, and
Exactly. For the first time, I saw that Broshiju, like everything, like everything. Seriously.
and when he was speaking, I I saw from what he spoke about. evidences are things I see Broshidu. Broshidu is a reader, and it's a testament of the transformation like God has taken you through. And like we all have different ashes. You know, I'm just remembering my own period, but it can't be as serious as yours, which you shared with us. But then thank you for sharing a lot of wisdom. I remember
Okay.
the last ashes of mine was the scholarship application. So in fact it got to a point I as I'm a young person. There was a time I was weeping inside my room. And Dr. Nancy didn't hear this then. I was because you know
Now, what?
yeah, so I wasn't earning much, but then I was applying for scholarship. I was working in a lab. I was acquiring a lot of experiences. I have a lot of skills on my hand, but the things I was doing at those moments was not giving me enough time to work more. I was just getting 10,000 naira in a month, and I was applying to scholarship, and God saw how I saved more than
Hmm.
100,000 naira to register for GRE. And I applied to about 14 schools in US. And one that gave me admission didn't give me funding.
Hmm.
And so I was going the next year also, like I already applied for another GRE. And I applied for Education USA then. Like I finished with a first class. So like I had the skill and then I have the certificate. So like, why are they not giving me the scholarship? What's the problem? And people come around and they say, oh, you are very good. This one, that one. But and you're at a spot.
Hmm.
Your good is not bringing out fruit. So I applied for Education USA. I thought I was going to get it. The interview was, I think, over 10,000 first class applied nationwide. About 120 something was invited to US Embassy in Lagos then. I was shortlisted. I attended an interview. It was very beautiful. In fact, I was already praising God, to receive, but then came as a disappointment. You know, I broke down, and for me it was the last. But um, one of that thing I just want to maybe like a contribution. When breakthrough comes, when sometimes they don't look like it. They don't look like it. Dr. Nancy he was in Nigeria, then he just told me about, like, why don't you try Japan,
Hmm.
And I just applied. But then, when you're already used to failures,
Hmm.
you develop tough skins for failures. And I just applied, and it was just like they were already waiting for me to come and apply for the scholarship.
Hmm.
So, not to give up, it can be very, very, it can be very, very painful. And if you have to cry, please cry. Yeah, so like I don't know, if you have to
Yeah.
cry, please cry. But also talk with people, especially those you can like cry on, no matter how old. I don't pray I cry like that again in my life. But then after I cried that particular day, there's a kind of peace and kind of like it's like God. So there's always, and one interesting thing about this thing is I don't know how you feel right now, but then I don't know how I feel right now. So I eventually got the scholarship, just to compliment. I eventually got the scholarship, and I'm with Dr. Dansu in Japan. So today, I don't know how you feel now. When you look back, it doesn't look as if you went through those pain. I don't know. It looks as if like nothing ever happened. And so it's just an encouragement to not give up and know that no matter what we are going through now, when there's this scripture that says when God turned the captivity of uh, of Zion, they'll be like them that they
Mm-hmm.
like they are dreaming. So
Mm-hmm.
we won't look like it. So At least if there's anyone among us going through anything at this moment, just know that when God answers your prayers, when the
Mm.
story change, just going to look as if you never went through
Can you
any
repeat
pain.
my back?
So I think maybe that will be my contribution and my own ashes sharing to this afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Opeoluwa. Thank you very much once again.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate Mr. Ayobami. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So I'll round off, I'll try to round up, answer these two questions from Google Forms that we got. I don't know if the person or the people that answered, that asked the question are on the meeting on the call. And the first one is how to connect with people. To connect with people, I shared mine briefly during my speech, and I just said the transformation. One of the transformation was that I could walk up to someone, a stranger, and introduce myself and just what I do. You connect with people by introducing yourself first, but you need to be sure that to an extent, knowing that this person is someone that you want to connect with. Then you introduce yourself, you let them know what you do, and that you would like to know them better and get their contact. And the second question says that the major um all right, sorry for the background noise. The major adversity in the country is high cost of living and rising cost of everything. What online viable means of generating income can you share with us that are internet or online inclined? There are several means, of generating income online. And if I begin to mention them now, we might not live here today. And like I, I personally, I
We are not hearing you.
We can't hear you.
Okay.
Uh,
We can
okay.
hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, it's fine now.
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, and I was talking all this while. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for notifying me. So I don't know where did I stop, or where was I speaking on before?
You said that there's a lot of websites that if you start sharing them, I will not live here.
All right. Yeah. So there are several jobs, and it depends on one's passion basically. And you could be a copywriter, you could be a technical copywriter, you could be a proofreader, and the opportunities are endless, uncountable opportunities to generate income online. You just have to keep on upskilling to make sure that you can start somewhere, probably through internship, offering free services for you to develop your experience, and also have portfolios to submit to higher brands. All right. So I think I was able to answer that question briefly. And this brings me to the end of today's topic rising from. I I, I know it's been taking a lot of time, but I had to just share that. And I also want to appreciate everyone for listening and for the convener for giving me the privilege to speak on this platform, the Real Boys Forum. And it's been a very impactful platform. And once again, thank you for my moderator, Ayodeji. I really appreciate. So I would hand over to you now to take it up from here. Thank you very much once again.
Yeah, thank you very much. We like we really appreciate you. You really shared a lot of tips, and I just picked some. Like I just note down some. You said something that I so much agree with. That's that when you have to you have to accept, like the first step to you is to your solution is by accepting the fact that you've actually maybe you are passing through this thing, because like that's the most important thing. Like there is this thing in Yoruba that like someone that is mad, when the person realize that why am I putting on this type of clothes? Then definitely the person's solution is getting, like the person has already gotten his solution. You understand? So that is one. And another thing, you said something that yeah, you cannot run away from challenges. You have to face it. That you have to face it. You have to face it, and you cannot run away, because there's no way you are going to. Because if you live here, that okay, maybe this. If you go to another place, definitely you still face other challenges. And you said something too, that like you said, environment also matters, like your friends, the company you keep, and all. So, and lastly, you said something about that you can become successful reg- regardless of what you are actually facing. No matter what you are facing, you can actually become successful. So that's where determination comes in. Now you have to be persistent with whatever growth, development, with whatever development you are trying to do, whatever process you are trying to pass through. And you also said something about process too as well. That is not just a day change, that it has to follow a process, and you have to be persistent with the process. So thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. We
My
really
pleasure.
thank you. I don't know if any other person still have, if we have anybody that have more questions or something. If not, so then I will need to hand over to my other, so that we'll take it up. So, any questions? Questions? Let's ask questions if we have questions. Okay, I think there's no question if I'm right. So, sir, you can take over, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Okwe. Thank you, Timileyin, for the great job. Um, I mean, one thing I've seen, one thing that came to me again as Okwe was talking, was the fact that whatever happens, don't let. Okay, I wrote on Facebook, I mean, in his name, that at setbacks, is it setbacks I said or something? They can either sink you or make you grow. So just like some people say, now who give up? I don't want to use the word they use. Now who give up, mess up.
Mess
Let me
up,
make
yeah.
it milder like that. That's not the word they use, Sha, but I don't want to say the other one here. So now who give up, mess up, right? So if you give up, right, you have shut the door on the possibilities, So bad things happen every time. Things that we don't like happen all the time. But it is our duty to make sure that we don't sink we don't sink because something bad happens. It's our responsibility to make sure that no matter what is happening to us, we keep our head high up. Of course, I have my own fair share of ashes and everything. In my book, Keeping Success Pace, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon and this other one in Nigeria, Seller. Yeah, it's on Seller too. So I think chapter 3 or so. There I wrote about 3 years. I mean, 3 cycles of 5-year delays. So the first part of that was I wrote jam. I mean, I finished from Badagi Grammar School. I mean, popular guy, winning all the awards, like from JS1 to SS3, 33, like 33 prizes. WAEC, I mean, my first O level exam, I had three A1s. That was GCE that I wrote after SS2. I had A1 in Greek, I had A1 in maths, I had A1 in physics. My worst result was in economics. Economics, I had C4, biology, I had C5 because I didn't really like those. All the other ones, A1, A3, and blah blah. When I wrote WAEC, it was even better. WAEC, I had five A1s, and the worst was A3. But guess what? I wrote JAMB 5 solid times. Plus, I did in the process of writing Jam. I had to go and do diploma in marine engineering at Victoria Island, Babbage. There's this school at Babbage, Federal College of Fisheries and Marine Technology. So when I was done, I now took direct entry for making 6 jams. So that time we used to say that Jam was using our money to plant flower. So, you know, I mean that period was so it was such a pain, right? I remember when I just got into that diploma program, I went back to Badagry and I saw one of my teachers and was like, "Oh, dance with Bolo Aunsi." And I was in Federal College. Immediately he had college. It was just like, "You college?" That it felt like the ground should just open and I should just enter. Like I felt deeply humiliated. But I mean, those were processes of making, right? Now, one thing I've seen about Okpa is that I think his personality alone is a very calm person. Maybe that also helps. Like hearing that you took a walk all those times. Like the one time I had that encounter with you, I'm not sure we met more than that one day in the MTS lab in School of Sciences. I'm not sure we met after that one day.
No,
But that one
no.
day left a very huge impression. Each time I saw this guy, I was like, God, how is this guy coping? Like I couldn't I was so I mean me that I was just hearing, I was paralyzed on his behalf because I was just like, where is he going to start from? Like where would he really
Yeah.
start from? But I mean, one thing we have
Hmm.
learned is that whatever happens, don't let it sink you. Don't get drowned by the
Mm-hmm.
troubles because I mean, there's always a way out, but are you going to wait to
Mm-hmm.
have that way out? I think that's where the challenge lies now. So that's why, by all means, we should find a way to make sure whatever happens, you keep your head above the waters. You don't sink. Now, who give up, mess up? Maybe if you
Yeah,
forget everything today, just remember that one. That now, who give up,
yeah.
mess up? So that was for getting admission into the university. That was the first cycle of 5 years, and those things is
Hmm.
usually like 5 years like that. Second one, guess what? Marriage. Marriage, oh, marriage. Like now, I see gay. I like gay. I tell gay say I like gay. Gay talk say he like me. So her parents would not have it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
2 reasons. I am Egun. Maybe I think that was one of the reasons, right? And I'm also not, I don't also attend their church. And this thing went on, like it was for me, I'm like, and the pressure was now like serious that I used to tell myself that time that if you enter Badagry, like even now, so go to Badagry, if any first person you see, just ask them that do you know Dansu Emmanuel? Like I used to do Igberaga like that, that if I go to if I find one girl in Badagry, I just go to the girls' house and they're like, "I was your husband's name." Once they hear dance women, they'll just be like, "Oh, mamula, mamula, mamula." They won't even bother you. I mean, that just to hype myself, right? But I mean, it was serious pressure. Like, why? Shouldn't I so girls cast? But as somebody who works with God, right? You know that you can't just afford to marry anybody, right? There are girls, but there's only one wife. So we went on like that since 2009. That she had that me have been then I proposed and she agreed. Since 2009, they did not agree until 2014. five
Wow.
years, like, but in fact, in 2013, September 30, 2013, we broke up. We mended again, like 1 or 2 weeks after. I mean, it was just. But one thing I've seen in all is that when all those things happen, they're actually there to make us so you learn character, you learn patience, some things, some attitude also drop off, some things that are not right. So it's a purging process. Now, I mean, I was this guy working on the fast lane. When I was leaving secondary school, I wanted to go to the US. I wanted to study aeronautical engineering. I was going to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Maybe Ayodeji would have heard about Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I think it's in Miami. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Miami, Florida. Everything like fast, fast, fast. But somehow, jam 5 times, I couldn't get in. So finally, I got into FUTA. Marriage of 5 years waiting. Like, say, girl, two scars like that. But I mean, correct girl scars. Maybe that's the way to say it. Then another one was foreign scholarship now. I did okay, I didn't want to do bachelor's degree in Nigeria. I finally did bachelor's degree, right? After bachelor's, I'm like, lie, Nigeria, no more. I went for youth service, applied to Oxford, everything was looking good. Somebody helped me pay the I think it was £75 or something like that back then. So he helped me pay it, but I got back to Akure after NYSC, did interview, I couldn't get in. And at that point in time, I was praying. I didn't even know what if God was hearing me or not. I was just like I didn't know whatever. So I had to pick futa master's form. Thankfully, I was also graduate assistant, so that was a bit of encouragement. So I did masters in futa, PhD, no futa. So I was on no like today. Ask me about any country, I'll tell you the universities in that country, the best university, the kind of scholarship they have, and everything. But guess what? Finally, I had to take PhD form in futa. I took PhD form in FUTA 2015, and but then my heart had already moved. But I just had to take the PhD form because I mean, want somebody I mean, one secretary in our fellowship, CCF9 first, Ohis Ohiro, and he would say something like, "If spirituality fails, just follow the structure. Like if you are praying and you don't know what is happening, just keep walking the right path, as much as possible." So for me, then it was like, okay, as a lecturer, right, as somebody who is in the academics, I need a PhD. So I took a PhD form in FUTA against my own wish. But in the process, I was just fit dragging, fit dragging. Finally, next happened. So, and that is it. Like you're going to have your own, you're going to have your own issue. It may not be my case is not may not be like Okwe's case, but everybody, you have either had your issue or you're going to have it. Maybe you're having your own now, Seth. Maybe you're married and your wife
Yeah.
is not with you. That's part of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I am throwing stones
That's true.
at someone. So that you must not don't allow the situation sink you. Find a way of surviving. Help is coming. Definitely, help is definitely coming. But the trouble is, when help comes, are you still going to be available to get the help? Wouldn't you have spoiled things? That's the issue. So I think the key is hold on very hard and make sure you don't sink. I am already preaching. I think I want to stop here. So
Thank you.
interestingly, yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Ope, once again for this.
Thank
This
you.
is
I
so
appreciate.
such
Yeah.
a great one.
Thank you.
Like it's good to know that
Thank
you've been
you.
through that fire and then you have still maintained your composure. Now, this guy is humble, right? How many of you know Kenny Black? This is the guy that handles Kenny Black's events, like all the online internet back and blah 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 for Kenny Black. This is the person in charge. Can you imagine you're in the same kind of person? And can you even imagine that you've been through that kind of fire, And that's
Yeah.
exactly
Thank you.
what setbacks do, right? They purge and purify us. Now, I mean, I also identify with Sergio at this time. I know he's going through some challenges right now, but guess what? I know people who I'm not. I don't even know what you're going to graduate with. I know you can't graduate less than two to whatever. I don't know, but I know people who are graduate. Okay, let me even say it. Not I know people say my wife through too. She has been through her own fire. Her coming to Futa. Sincerely, I only think the main thing she gained from Futa was meeting me because she suffered like ah she wanted to study maths. I'm sorry, she wanted to study medicine. Medicine no dey futa. She came for PDS and she wanted to study microbiology. They said microbiology was full. They now pushed her to maths. Imagine for microbiology to maths, how far now? So, like in futa, every semester she had a carryover except for the semester that will make her have extra year. I don't know if you understand that. Like every single semester she had a carryover, except for maybe 400 level second semester that will make her have a repeat in five. So that one she didn't have. Then even final year she had one carryover, but the final semester she had one carryover. But there's a law in the department that if you have only one carryover, the school will they will it's an agreed thing in the department officially that they will give you some kind of pardon. So, but that process to also helped her to purify her too. She also, but right now, I mean, she's graduating her PhD in March, and her professor believes in her. So, in fact, her professor believes that she's a professor material herself. Can you imagine? Third class.
Wow.
So you see, like you have either passed through your own fire or you are still going to pass through it. Whatever happens, don't sink in the process because you will definitely emerge from it with great testimonies. And I think that's the essence of today's virtual meetup. Interestingly, I think that's a very good way to end this year. This is our last virtual meetup for the year. This is the 11th one, by the way, and it's been such a great privilege. We appreciate everybody who has spoken on this platform. We appreciate everyone who has moderated. I remember Abayomi was once our speaker, and it has been such a very great time of learning. Thankfully, more people are going to listen. I mean, this what is happening here now is going to be preserved for generations because we are going to have it on our YouTube channel, and I'm sure maybe 30 years down the line, Okpe's son, that is a professor in Harvard, will
Yeah.
stumble on this and be like, "Wow, I see my
Yeah.
dad." that kind of thing. So it's going to be there. So more
Yeah.
people are going to listen to this, and I'm very sure they're going to get inspired by it. So setbacks will come, troubles will come. You'll go through fire. The only thing is, don't let it burn you. You go through water. Don't drown in the water. Keep your head above the waters. Get out of it, and you're going to have great and wonderful testimonies. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, everybody, for coming
All
once
right.
again. So see you. I mean, we'll continue. So for the rest of this year, we'll be. So what we'll be doing is we are going to have new leadership, and I'll take a bit of backseat so that the leaders can be leading in front. So if you have not filled the form I shared in the group, so please feel free to fill it if you're interested in one of the positions. That's if you have time, if you have time. It's a volunteering role, we are not paying. So if anybody has if you want to volunteer your time, please do that. Thank you so much, Adada Timidayo Timothy. I greet all the professors in the house. Oh, then see all of you now, professor. You better receive it.
Amen.
So thank you very much, Timidayo. We are very pleased to have you here. John Bull, thanks for being here. Timidayo, do you want to tell us something? It looks like you have something to tell us.
No, fine. It's just great catching up with everyone. Fine.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. John Bull, thank you. Fellow Japanese professor, thank you. The Florida professor, thank you. Yes, so good desu. Okay, God bless you. Thanks for this.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll
Amen.
continue
Thank you.
our work in the group, and
All
hope
right.
that 2025 will be a better year. It's been a very powerful year. 4 books written, and
Mm,
you know, uh, 2 published, 2 in the works. And thank you
mm,
for the interactions, for making all that possible. And so what I've been writing since this week started will be like it's some kind of blog. So you can see it is shorter. So
mm,
maybe that will be like some kind of blog writing, and
mm,
thankfully, people are getting a lot of values from this thing. So if you want us to ever write
mm.
about anything or discuss any issue, just drop it in the group, and I'll just pick it
All
up.
right.
Interesting.
All right.
From what Jambu said, what Jambu told me. Now you can see the power of mentoring, the power of examples, right? The person that told me this thing that Jambu just repeated that was my youth leader in church in Badagry. Like he told me this thing all those times. I was in secondary school in Badagry Grammar School. We're always going for competitions. So when I'll come back to church and I'll be like, Brokola, we went to Enugu State. We won this one, we won that one. We like, congratulations, but don't let it get into your head. And that really helped me that even when the whole world is praising you, you can enjoy the praise, right? Enjoy the celebration, but keep your steez and composure. Don't start messing around. And I think so now that has been passed down to John Bull. I'm sure he's passed it down to so many other people. And it's something that keeps going like that, and it's going to have impact on generations. Because the problem many people have is they don't know how to handle success, and then that now leads to failure. So I think that's one thing. In fact, that's part of one of the chapters in my book, handling failure and success. Because failure can lead to failure if you allow it paralyze you. Failure can lead to success if you allow it to challenge you. That is what we have learned today. Success can lead you to failure because if you succeed and you think you have arrived, failure will follow. But success can ginger you to succeed more, right? Like following the Matthew effect. To those who have, more will be given. All of that. I'm feeling like a preacher already. That's the second time I'm saying it. So we have to go. Thank you everybody for showing up. Can't wait to see all of you face to face anywhere in the world that you are in. We'll meet someday. Maybe one day we'll have a very big Real Boys Forum conference somewhere. So help us God. Have a very great time. See you. We'll continue to interact in the group. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Maybe we can take a shot. Can someone take a shot from their end so you just share it in the group? Anybody want to do that? So if you
Okay.
can, I'll afford to make us see your face. We won't mind. If not, no problem.
Yeah, I can't see myself.
Because your video is off, I think.
Oh.
Or is it or are you so black? Okay. Make it not go be very black dark man. Have a very dark black man.
All right. I just took a screenshot.
Oh, nice,
I'll
nice. So you can
maybe
just share it
share.
in the group. Thank you so much,
All
everybody.
right.
See
All
you.
right.
Bye. All right.